What's the story, Morning Glory? What's the word, Hummingbird? Thank you so much for joining me again on my channel. This is going to be a review of 90 Day Fiancé Before the 90 Days, Season 5, Episode 1, A Leap of Faith. So the first couple that we're going to talk about is Caleb and Elena. Caleb is 28 years old from Chandler, Arizona. Elena is 27 years old from St. Petersburg, Russia. A little bit about Caleb. The first time that we see him, he is running through the desert shirtless. So obviously he's very fit. He likes the outdoors. He likes to be active. And he's also a little bit easy on the eye, which is very rare for this show. He likes to meditate. He likes to travel. He's dated a lot of people, but he's never really had a serious relationship until he met the beautiful Elena. The first time that they met, they were in their teens. They were about 15, 14 years old, somewhere around there. They met online. They were friends online, and they communicated for quite a while, but then they lost touch. And then they met again online years later, and then realized that they had a deeper connection than friendship. A couple of the things that he says about Elena, I remember him saying that Elena brings out the best in him and inspires him to do more, to want to do more with himself. So Elena lives in Russia. He lives in Arizona, and they do plan to meet for the very first time. They have never met in person before, ever. And they do plan to meet in Turkey because of COVID and the border restrictions. They're going to go ahead and meet in Turkey. And I know this sounds familiar to a lot of us 90 Day Fiancé fans because 90 Day Fiancé, the other way, Elena, another Elena, met with Steven in Turkey. Another Elena from Russia met with her fiance in Turkey as well. Elena, like I said before, she's 27 years old. She's interested in burlesque, and we see a lot of scenes with her posing, taking pictures, sort of like in this burlesque fashion. And she says that she really enjoys burlesque because she says that no matter what you look like, what your body type is, when you are doing burlesque, you automatically feel very beautiful, very attractive, and very confident. She said she is a little person, and she says that her particular type of dwarfism, she gave it a name, but I don't remember what the name was. But her particular type of dwarfism happens when both parents carry the gene. And we do meet her parents and her sister later on, and both of her parents and her sister are of average height. She's also part of a band, so she's very busy. She's also part of a band. She's a lead singer of a 3-member band, I think, and one of her band members is actually her roommate by the name of Elijah. She's very comfortable with herself. She likes to send very flirty pictures to Caleb. So, she's not letting anything stop her or get in the way of her enjoying life and doing whatever she's got to do. But she is worried about what Caleb will think when he sees her because she says it's one thing for him to see me in pictures and it's something else completely when he sees her in person. And she says that in Russia, a lot of the men in Russia don't take her seriously, so she really doesn't date men from her own country. Yeah. So her parents and her sister, like I said, are of average height. Her parents are very, very protective of her, very, very protective, and she has to let them know that she's going to be traveling to Turkey to meet Caleb. So she's having breakfast with her parents, and she breaks the news to them that she plans on traveling to Turkey to meet Caleb. I mean, automatically her parents are like, they don't like it. Her mother's worried about her traveling because of her height limitations and the fact that she's in a wheelchair. Her mother is very worried about how she's going to be getting around. Obviously, she's worried about people taking advantage of her. And she tries to reassure her parents that, you know what, they don't have to worry. Caleb is going to be there to take care of her. Her parents are also worried about her meeting with Caleb because she had been in a relationship previously with another foreigner, a man from South Africa, and that absolutely went left. They were talking, they met, and I think the second time they were supposed to meet up, I think he stood her up or something. So that didn't end very well. So her parents are also worried about that. And her mom was telling her, you're meeting this guy and he's a stranger. And she says, he's not a stranger. I've known him since I was 14 years old. And her mother says, yeah, but you've only known him online. You don't know him like in person. You've never met him in person. And things are going to be completely different in real life than the way that they are online. And this is what I'm adding in because online, we only show people what we want them to know. We do that in real life as well, but it's a whole lot easier to be whoever you want to be online and make people believe you are whoever you want them to believe you are online. Caleb knows that she is a little person, so he's very much aware of that. She's not being deceptive about that at all. And when they FaceTime each other, first of all, let me say this. Elena is absolutely beautiful. She is breathtakingly beautiful. She's very, very, very pretty. And when they are FaceTiming each other, he compliments on how pretty she is. And her makeup, her hair, everything about her is just on point. And he tells her, well, I can't wait to see you because when I say I'm going to pick you up. And she said, you know what? I don't really like people picking me up because she is a full grown woman. She's not a child. She said, I don't like people picking me up, but for you, I'll make an exception. Um, then she has to tell him, she has to break the news to him and tell him that when we meet in Turkey and when we get our room or our hotel or whatever, I'm not going to be alone. I'm going to bring my roommate Elijah with us. And so Caleb is like, why is that? And she tells him that, my parents are very worried. And Elijah knows, because he's my roommate, he knows how to take care of me. And so they really want him to come with me to kind of be like, basically a chaperone. And so Caleb doesn't like that because he says that, I'm the one that's supposed to be taking care of her. I need to learn how to take care of her. But Elijah's going to be there, and that's that. And then she gives him like a rundown of what it's like to date a little person, dealing with her wheelchair, dealing with the fact that she can't be on her feet for too long, and all this and that. And so, he's in for, he's in for a ride because I don't know if Caleb, is used to being able to take care of someone on that level, but we shall see. Moving on to Kim and Usman, aka Soldier Boy. He's back. And I don't know why. I'm thinking to myself, 90 Day Fiancé producers, creators, network, whoever the hell is in charge of the show. This world is big. There are 6 billion humans walking around on this earth. And out of all the people that you could have chosen, you want us to suffer through another season of Usman, aka Soldier Boy. This time, he's not with baby gal Lisa no more. He has moved on to baby gal Kim. Him and Lisa, evidently, like I said, I have no idea what went on behind the scenes. When the show ends, I'm done. I'm over it. I don't look at nothing online. Evidently, I think him and Lisa got a divorce. They're not together anymore. So Usman is young, free, and single, ready to mingle, but not mingle too much. So he is with Kim. Okay, so let's talk about Kim. Kim, 50 years old, from San Diego, California. She's a huge Michael Jackson fan. She shows us her Michael Jackson memorabilia. She even has a Michael Jackson tattoo. She lives with her elderly mother. She's her mother's caregiver. She has a 25-year-old son by the name of Jamal, who she had with her ex-husband. She was married to her ex-husband for 25 years, and that marriage ended when she found out that he cheated on her. She met Soldier Boy online, of course. Where else are they going to meet? And yeah, she says she's very attracted to him and that he makes her feel so loved, and that she's going to be meeting him in Tanzania. Now, Usman is from Nigeria, but he's going to be shooting a video in Tanzania, and that's where they're going to meet. Why they can't shoot the video in Nigeria, I didn't get that. I don't know why, but it's going to be happening in Tanzania, which is like completely across the continent from Nigeria. Usman is hesitant about making the relationship official because of his experience with baby gal Lisa. He doesn't want to jump into this relationship too fast with Kimberly. And so he wants to take it very, 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 very slow. So Kim feels guilty about leaving her mom. She has a conversation with her mother. Her mother reassures her, look, I'm going to be fine. Don't worry. I'm not going to die on you. Then her mom is asking her her mom says in her own confessional that Kim has not been too successful with men. Kim is the kind of person, she's a pleaser. She wants to do everything that she wants to be like the perfect woman for her man, and she wants to do everything that the man expects her to do. And so she's always trying to please her man in every way she can. And I'm thinking to the point where she loses herself. But she's a pleaser. And she wants to be the perfect woman, wants to be everything that the man needs. And so the mom says, they talk about the age difference between her and Usman. And I think it's like a 17. Is it a 17-year age difference or a 27-year age difference? I think it's a 17-year age difference. And the mom is like, well, you're old enough to be his mother. And she's like, thanks, mom, which is it's the truth, Kim. She's worried. The mother is worried about, her jumping into this relationship, and says to her daughter, what happens if you go there and there's just like no chemistry between y'all? And her mom, the Kim says, you know what, love is love, and Usman is different. This is going to be different. It's not going to be like the other relationships. And the mother asks her point blank, do you trust him? And she says, yes, I do. So we know exactly where this is headed. And I'm a little bit frustrated because I don't want repeats of previous seasons. I don't want to see the same characters. I don't want to see, and I know the storylines are going to be very similar because they follow a certain formula. But this formula here with the younger Nigerian with the older American woman, I'm done with that storyline. I'm so done with that. Usman and Lisa, Angela and Michael, I'm so done and over that storyline. Because we know exactly where it's going. The only way that I'm going to be okay with watching Kim and Usman is if they literally like fall head over heels in love, and he forsakes all others, and they get married and they live happily ever after. If it's not going to be ending in that way, I have no interest in Kim and Usman. I'm really considering whether I should even talk about them at all, because I think this whole relationship, it's either extremely one-sided or it's extremely fake. And it's going to be a waste of my time to talk about it, because I know exactly what's going to happen. She's going to go to Tanzania or Nigeria or wherever. She's going to get extremely jealous of him being around other women because he's the superstar, mega rapper star. And it's going to be a lot of arguments, a lot of back and forth, a lot of jealousy on her part. And they're still going to end up getting married anyway. And then her jealousy is going to be so overwhelming and so all-consuming that she's going to end up just dumping him. That's exactly how it's going to go. And if it's going to go like that, I'm going to be really upset, and I might not even talk about these people. Okay, so Kim meets with two of her best friends on the beach. Of course, her friends have major concerns about her going to Nigeria or Tanzania to be with Usman. One of the friends says to her, so it went from, her reaching out as a fan to him online, making a comment on one of his posts, and now we're in this full-blown relationship. The friend says, do you plan to be intimate with him? She says 100%, but Usman don't want that. She says that she does want to go, all the way with him when she gets there to Africa, but he has separate rooms for them, and he wants her to have her own room. He's going to be in his own room, and there's not going to be any kind of hanky-panky if he has his way. She tells her friends, I guarantee, but before I leave Africa, he will be in my bed. I guarantee you that. So Usman, okay, so then Kim says, they talk about his song. He's going to be shooting a video for this song called Zara. And the friends ask her, well, who the hell is Zara? And she's like, I don't know. And they're like, well, don't you want to know who Zara is? He's probably making a whole song about a whole nother female. They ask about children. Does he want children? She says, yes, he does. And they're like, okay, how is he going to get them if he's going to be with you? And she says, well, you know what? I don't have a problem with him taking on a whole nother wife to have kids with. I'll be his main, and then he can have a secondary wife that could just be spitting out babies for him. And she's okay with that. And she says this is his culture, and I respect his culture. So she's willing to sacrifice everything that she believes in for the respect of his culture, where, in his culture he can have multiple wives. This makes sense to this woman. This makes sense to her. So 90-day fiancé producers. This is borderline, what's the word? When you take advantage of somebody. Exploitation. This is borderline exploitation. To have this woman who has zero self-esteem running around chasing this man all over the world, saying that it's okay for her, who grew up in America with American values and American culture, who says it's perfectly okay for her to be with a man who wants to be with another woman just to have his children. And a man who doesn't even want to sleep in the same bed with her when she comes to see him. A woman who will travel all the way across the world to be with him, but he can't even be in the, he can't even be in the same bed with her or in the same room with her. Okay. So when her friends are like, so she tells her friends, yeah, I don't have a problem with him having another wife, to have his children, and I'll be his main wife or whatever. The friends are like, oh, and then she says, yeah, and he's perfectly happy with that. He's okay with that. And her friends are like, yeah, duh, of course he's okay with that. He's gonna have multiple wives. Why wouldn't he be okay with that? And then she gets really defensive with her friends, and she gets up and she walks away. Her friends go chasing her in the sand, and they try to make her feel better. This is like so tiring. It's like the same. I'm going to be talking about the same people, the same situation, the same scenarios, but different faces. It's getting really old, 90 Day Fiancé. Let's go on to Gino and Jasmine. Gino is 50 years old from Canton, Michigan. Jasmine is she's 34 years old from Panama City, Panama. We meet Gino. He's at the pharmacy. He's getting ready for his trip to Panama. He's never met her in real life. They've only communicated online. Okay, so he's got this thing why he used to be married to another. Where was she from? Okay, we'll get to that. He's in the pharmacy. He's buying a whole bunch of essentials for his trip to Panama. He's getting his stuff for his diarrhea. He's getting his warming lotion for the adult activities. He says he's a creature of habit. He's very conservative and he enjoys the simple life. And he eats TV dinners like there's no tomorrow. His ex-wife was from Sao Paulo, Brazil. They were married for 7 years until the romance was over. They got a divorce. So he's dating Jasmine, who is a 34-year-old American literature teacher. And so her English is impeccable. I don't understand why every single time he talks to her, he starts off the conversation with hola, hola. I think she understands the meaning of hello, Gino. It's okay for you to say hello. If you're going to say hola, can you please follow that up with real Spanish and actually conversate in Spanish if you're going to start off with hola? Because every time hearing him say hola, it makes me want to throw my phone at the TV. It gets on my nerves so much. Just because you say hola, you are not speaking Spanish. She's an American literature teacher. It's okay if you say hello, how are you? That'll be fine with her. I don't understand why they think that if people think that if they say hola, like they really are doing the Spanish speaking person a favor. It's like, oh my God. Anyways, moving on. So we see Miss Jasmine. She is, gorgeous. She's beautiful. She looks like a bikini model. And Gino says that she's completely out of my league. You think? He says this is his soulmate. He believes that she is his soulmate. So he also has to. So he says he hasn't been with a woman in a few years. And so he got some little blue pills. And I'm thinking to myself, if you haven't been with a woman in a few years, why do you need the little blue pills? I mean, you would think that he'd be, cocked and ready to go. Why do you need the blue pills if you haven't been with a woman in a few years? I didn't understand that. Okay, so then he meets with his brother and sister-in-law, and of course, they express all of their concerns about, is she just using you to come to America, so on and so forth, whatever. Are you sure she's doing this for the right reason? Does she have ulterior motives? He's like, no, she's in love with me. I'm in love with her. It's completely legit. Then they ask him about his hat. They're like, okay, does she know you're bald? And I think he said that she knew that he was bald, but he will not take off his baseball cap. He wears his baseball cap 24/7 except when he sleeps. So she's never seen his bald head, I don't think, but she knows that he's bald. So he's very insecure about his bald head. His brother is not. His brother is also bald, but his brother is completely confident in his baldness. And I think he should be as well. It comes to a point where it's like, anyways, moving on. So already, okay, so blah blah blah. He already told his girlfriend, he already told Jasmine, I'm not gonna be taking my hat off, so don't even ask me. So then he tells his brother and his sister-in-law that him and Jasmine have been discussing children. And the brother and sister-in-law are like, excuse me, you don't even know her. You're already talking about having babies. And he's like, yeah, I would like to have children. I would like to have a family with her. And the brother and the sister-in-law are like, well, I hope you're not going to try to get her pregnant right away because, they want to make sure that she's here for the right reasons. Moving on. Jasmine, she is a vegetarian and she's also very, very fit. Gino is not. He's not overweight or anything, but he has a very poor diet and he's not active at all. So she doesn't approve of his lifestyle. She wants him to get better. And she's also extremely jealous and very, very overly possessive. He has to take his phone with him everywhere because she needs to know where he's going, what he's doing, and who he's with. He goes and he orders food. He goes to the restaurant to pick up the food. And she tells him on the phone, of course, before he even left the house, she told him, well, you're going to be taking me with you. So he gets to the restaurant. She wants to see what's going on in the restaurant. So he has to turn his phone and pan the phone all the way around the restaurant so she can see who's all there. He gets his food, he pays for it at the register, and he asks the cashier, what's your name? And she says, Brittany. And he's like, oh, okay, thank you, Brittany. And then he walks out. And so then Jasmine gets really jealous. And she's like, why do you have to ask her name? You're just there to pick up food. Why do you have to know her name? So that whole scene where he's asking the cashier her name seemed a bit staged to me. Because who does that? When you go and you pay for your food or you pay for anything at the register, who asks the cashier what their name is? I don't know. I didn't get it. And especially if he knows that she's out of this world jealous, why would you do that? Why don't you just accept the stuff, say thank you, and go about your business? So I don't know if he was purposely trying to get under her skin because he likes to see her react. Because a guy like him, to have a girl like that be, very jealous and possessive of him probably makes him feel very good. So he wanted to see her react, or that whole scene was staged. So yeah, she's very crazy jealous. And then he says that he thinks that maybe once she gets to America, the jealousy will subside because, they'll actually be around each other and she won't be as crazy because, she'll be able to see what's going on with her own eyes. Okay, whatever. So he meets with his uncle Marco and his uncle's girlfriend Sandy. Gino's own father passed away the previous Christmas. And so him and his uncle were close already, but since the passing of his father, they've gotten extremely close. And the uncle has kind of taken on like a father figure role for Gino. So the uncle's very worried about him going to Panama. They talk about, what if they rob you and they take all of your stuff and you wake up one day in a hotel and you've got nothing, everything is gone, your money's gone, your wallet's gone, your luggage is gone, and they put a roofie in you. I thought that was so funny. Excuse me. Uncle Marco says, what if this is a scam and she's talking to other guys and you're just one of many? And Gino once again has to defend his precious Jasmine and say, no, it's not a scam. This is real. We really love each other. So he talks about, the fact that he's given her a lot of money. Gino himself is unemployed. He has no job, but he does have money because he said that he has a really good savings account. He was able to save, enough money. But right now he's currently unemployed. And so he talks about the money that he's sent over to Jasmine, and he sent her money for her to get her lips done, her eyebrows done, her facial treatments, her hair, her teeth. But it's all legit, y'all. It's all complete. This is real, true, legitimate love. Gino wants to propose to her as soon as he gets to Panama. He doesn't want to waste any time. His uncle and his aunt are obviously very wary of that. And they're like, no, you better not. And he's like, yes, I am. And they said, okay, well, if you're going to do that, you need to get a prenup. Gino agrees that a prenup is a good idea, but he knows what kind of woman he's dealing with. And there's no way in hell that Jasmine's going to sign a prenup. So it'll be really interesting to see how she takes that news, because he says that he's very worried about how she's going to react and what it could mean for the future of your relationship. Okay, you bring up the word prenup, Gino, you have no relationship. A woman like Jasmine with that kind of a body and that kind of a face, she can get any man she wants anywhere she wants. She doesn't need you or your prenup. The day of the departure, it's very emotional for Uncle Marco because, like I said, him and Gina are really, really close. And so he's very worried about his nephew, and he's very emotional in his confessional. Uncle Marco is crying about seeing his nephew go. And when he's at the airport, he gets on the phone with Jasmine, and she's very excited for him to be coming because, she can just directly use the money right away instead of having to wait for him to send it to her through Western Union or MoneyGram. So then she's like, "Who's my beautiful gringo?" And, she does this whole baby talk thing with him, which I thought was kind of cute and kind of cringe at the same time. So that's Gino and Jasmine. Memphis and Hamza. Memphis is 34 years old from Muskegon, Michigan. Hamza is 28 years old from Tunisia. So, the first time we see her, she is lingerie shopping with her friends. And every time I see people trying on lingerie and bathing suits, I'm always like, wow, there's not a hygiene issue here when you're trying on things like that. Anyways, moving on. So she says she's very spontaneous. She likes to have a lot of fun. She's been single for 4 years. She's got 2 kids, a 13-year-old daughter, and she also shares custody of her 6-year-old son with her ex-husband. She's a nurse practitioner. She says she's tried the online dating thing with the Americans. It wasn't hitting it for her at all. So she got with the international online dating, and that's how she met Hamza. Hamza is a decent looking guy. He's got really nice teeth. She really likes his teeth and his lips. So this went fast. This went pretty fast. What was going on between Memphis and Hamza. Next thing I know, okay, one minute she's lingerie shopping with her friends. The next minute she's jumping into the shower and she's got her phone. She's got Hamza on the phone and she's doing like a little a show or whatever with her in the shower and the camera and him looking at her, and I was just like, what in the world is happening here? But she's very free with her body, she's very free with her sexuality, so she's doing whatever she's got to do to secure her man. So she tells her, okay, so she's talking to her friends and she's telling her friends that she plans to get married as soon as she gets there. She's going to be there for, I guess, like 3 weeks or something, because she says week 1 we're getting married, week 2 is the honeymoon. Yeah, I think that's what she said. She said she's going to, for a week, get married. Okay, she's going to be there for a week, hang out with him for a week, get married week 2, honeymoon week 3, and then come back home. She says that she's going to go for the spousal visa, not the K1, because she wants to hurry up and get married. Of course, everybody thinks that she's crazy because she's moving way too fast for someone that she's never seen, and she's got 2 kids. Like, why are you moving this fast? And you have 2 children. And she says that she likes the consistency of Hamza. He calls her every morning, compliments her all the time. He's very consistent with his attention to her, and she never got that with American men. Now she's with her mom. So her mom and her and her mom's relationship is kind of complicated. Her mom basically sort of like abandoned her when she was a child growing up. Her mom, I guess, was like in and out of her life. Her mom was addicted to crack. Her dad was in prison. She was in and out of foster homes. So she had a very tumultuous childhood. She says that the reason why maybe she's so quick to jump into relationships all the time is because she's looking for that security that she never got as a child. She brings this up to her mother. Her mother basically had a lot of excuses. I was addicted to crack. I was a single mom, so I couldn't be there for you. You have to understand. And her mom, Memphis is kind of like, yeah, mom, but I really needed you. So she tells her mom basically like, hey, this is the reason why I am the way I am, because I didn't get any love and affection, from you. I was basically abandoned, and this is the reason why I act the way that I act. She tells her mom that straight up. Her mom is like, well, is he ready to be also Hamza has a job. He works in Tunisia. He does heating and cooling. So he already has that skill, which is really, really good. And of course, the mom brings up the whole thing about, is he only using you to come to America? So on and so forth. How do you know he's for real? And she says, she believes that he's, very serious about her as much as she is about him. And then the mother asks, well, what about the fact that he's going to be a stepdad to your 2 kids? And he doesn't even know these kids. And Memphis says, well, this is the leap of faith that I'm going to be taking with him. Memphis says that, we talked about that and how she needs a man to feel secure because she never had any security growing up. So this is 90 Day Fiancé before the 90 days. Every single couple is a red flag. There are major issues with every single couple. And then on top of all that, I think there's going to be three more couples added on that all look problematic next week. And I hope that you join me for that review. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will definitely be talking to you later. Bye-bye.